Hi, it's Raquel. Welcome back to Recovery to Wellness. This is where survivors radiate badassery. It is currently January 11th, 2025. I almost said 2024, but it's not. It's 2025. And we're in the car, and everybody's at the library right now. So there was a lot of conversation kind of happening, so I put my car back on, and I have Josh Woodward going in the background. Hopefully it's okay. I might turn it off now, but it's just, there's just lots of different conversation, and I don't want you guys picking up on conversation kind of thing. I have Do Not Go Gentle by Josh Woodward playing, just to fill some of the silence a little bit, and we're doing a video book review. So this is video book review, I believe, I just looked at it, yes, it's number 21, and the whole review I managed to very much squish into my book club journal. So it's all in there, and we'll be discussing this whole thing today. I know that my glasses are very, they catch a lot of like reflections and such, so here's hoping I can actually keep this footage, because I don't know exactly what you're seeing within my glasses. So hopefully that will be okay and manageable. If not, I guess we'll have to get creative in the sense of how I will sort of, maybe I'll do like a voiceover or something instead and just play like B-roll footage kind of going on. We'll figure it out. I'll figure it out. We'll figure it out. It'll be figured out by the time this video is posted. But anywho, so this is, again, video book review number 21. And this is on the book Organization Hacks, 2017 by Carrie Higgins. So this is the book. So again, Organization Hacks, 2017 by Carrie Higgins. And I, of course, borrowed this from the library. If we want to see the page flags that were involved with this book, they are all right here. They're all right here. I can always... It's only been a few times. There's only been one handful of times, so far at least, since I've been doing video book review and sort of newer review systems in the last year or so, that I've actually been able to, only a few books I've actually been able to create an entire sort of review for within my book club journal, because most of the time, especially if I really like a book or if I really dislike a book, I'll have a lot to say about it, so I'll have handwrite loose leaf pieces of paper, like blank paper, and just handwrite whatever I want to say and such. But this is one of the times where I did not have to do that. I was able to squish it really squish it entirely into this journal notebook configuration. Only really read paperback. I don't really, other than like, I read stuff like fan fiction or like YouTube comments and stuff like that, like on my phone and stuff, on my computer, but I don't read like ebooks or things like that, and I don't listen to audiobooks either. I read this book in 5 days, so I started it December 30th, 2024, and I finished it January 3rd, 2025. I wrote the review pretty much, it looks like all day on January 3rd, 2025, which is great, so got that done. I personally would not recommend this book. So it's called Organization Hacks, and I feel like maybe I should have realized sooner than I did that the hacks part meant DIY projects, and I didn't realize that until I started reading the book and then also got through the book, and then it was a lot of DIY stuff, and then I was like, oh no, I don't want that. I don't want that in my book. And so I was not, the DIY set was very like math heavy, and I don't do math. Me and math, we're on a fringe relationship. We don't work together kind of thing. And which is something I have to work on. But for right now, I'm still avoiding it and not doing it. And so math and I math doesn't make sense to me. I genuinely, I struggle with like, even like figuring out how long it's been like time-wise with things. Like, I don't know, like hours and stuff confuses me. And addition and subtraction confuses me. And like how many like days something has gone by, like, I don't know, just time in that sense and hours and math is like, not like how many hours it's been from like 10 a.m. on a Monday until like maybe like 7 p.m. on Tuesday. Like that just like I don't know, can't compute. I don't know. So there was a lot of math within the DIY projects. There was a lot of also this book. Something I didn't like about this book is that it had a lot of illustrations, which apparently I have read other books about organization and such, and like, so again, this also is a nonfiction book, and it's home and organizing as the genre. And this book has a lot of illustrations for the DIY stuff and any kind of stuff that it mentions as hacks or like things or like alternatives and such, which apparently illustrations really aren't good enough for like hacks or things to that effect. Like if it had actual photographs, I think it would have been way better and it would have been more understandable and translatable, really sort of transcend the text itself. Unfortunately, it did not have photographs. And I also recognize like this book is sort of like, there's another book that I read, hopefully within this timeline that I put this video out. It will be after I've put out some of my other organization and home organizing reviews. And so there was another book that I read, Organize Your Life, that was 2024, and it was so fucking good and so much more. Like, definitely, if you're gonna go for a home organizing book and you want to learn more about that, I would definitely recommend Organize Your Life 2024. I can probably pull up who it's by real quick because I wrote it down in here. I think it's number 17, so let me see. Organize Your Life 2024 by Good Housekeeping. So again, that book was phenomenal and way better than this one is. Like, this book in comparison, like, I wouldn't, like, if you're gonna read an home organizing book, I would definitely read Organize Your Life by Good Housekeeping. This book, if you don't read it, you're not missing much. Like, unless you like DIY stuff a lot, then maybe check out this book, but then it doesn't have photographs, so it's kind of difficult to understand and such. So again, if it had actual photographs, it would have been a lot better, but it didn't. It had like illustrations. I'll show you some of that. So like, for instance, an illustration like that, like this is how you're supposed to make it. And it's like, I kind of get it, but also a lot of the time when I was reading a lot of the DIY part of it and it had all the math and stuff, I was just trying to rush through to get it. I wasn't encoding the information. Like, I can't like visualize and know what like 15 by like 12 by 9 is. Like, that doesn't compute, and like it just doesn't. This book was not for me. This book was not for me. And again, I some ownership of that because I didn't realize organization hacks was like DIY hacks and like hack your life kind of thing. But once I read and realized it was a time. So overall, this book I rate writing wise, like, it is easy enough to read, I would say, like, in the sense that, like, I'm easy enough to read in the sense that I can go by kind of quick, at least for me. Like, I was able to kind of get it done within, 5 days, yeah, so it took me to read it, so I could kind of get it. I was sort of reading it fast to just kind of rush through it, because I'm like, I'm not getting it, I'm not going to get anything out of this, so whatever, fuck it. But the writing, 2 out of 5, overall recommendation score, 2 out of 5. Again, there's a lot better home organizing books that I have read that were far more phenomenal and fantastic than this particular book. However, there were some things in this book that I read from other books. For instance, there was the over-the-door shoe organizer. I really, really like that idea. I have read it in a few other books, and it was mentioned in this one as well. And I really, really, really like that, because I could put like cleaning supplies in that little pot in each pocket, or like have, could put shoes in it, but also just like other things like cleaning supplies and make it like a little caddy. So I really like that idea a lot. A couple things it also mentioned was like, yes, so page 18, let's see. It has this thing, which is putting together a hanger and then some shower curtain rings. Yes, the shower curtain rings, and then using the rings to put scarves in them. and keeping your scarves organized that way. I liked that a lot. That is also another idea that I have received and learned from another book. So just seeing it kind of pop up again was really cool, and like I was like, yes, I love that idea. I really want to do that, like putting, you know, shower rings and stuff together and then kind of linking them with tape and such, and then putting scarves through that. I'm starting to get more scarves lately, so the last year or so, that could be something that I could do. So I appreciated that. I also really enjoy the idea of storage being decor and storage. Like I like the sort of double purpose of that. I liked that a lot. Another thing that it mentioned, which I had read from another book, was like having sort of like an ottoman at the end of the bed and being able to put like extra blankets and stuff like that within that. And again, it's an ottoman, or not like an ottoman, but like kind of like an ottoman or like a seating kind of area that opens up and you can put storage stuff in it. That way, if you're sitting down, like you're in your room and you want to sit down, you can sit down, but then also you can use it for storage. And I really like that idea because I think in my vision of my own place, in my own apartment, I would have, you know, my bed, and then I'd have some sort of little thing like that, and then I would put my text stuff in it to kind of keep it hidden and not, you know, so out in the open in a sense. What else did I did like the liability disclaimer that was in this book, which also I'm probably going to reference a little more to kind of get an idea of what I should write for some liability disclaimers for the subreddit of this YouTube channel, and also some just other conversations within that subreddit. And at the time that I'm filming this, I'm planning to actually get back onto Reddit and doing more Reddit stuff lately in the next few, within the year, in a sense. So I am looking forward to that. I'm also planning to edit some videos and get those out, probably a book review, and just kind of go through that. So what else? So I love, again, storage and decor, fantastic. There was some conversations about getting like a vase and having it have a wide enough neck that you can lay necklaces on it or lay other things on it, which is also a great idea. Let's see. I didn't understand. There was one thing that the author mentions where she was like, oh, you can get like kind of like the shoe organizer thing, but then put it under a mattress and then have like multiple sort of rows of the shoe organizer, and one row would hang down and you could put things into the bed, like the spaces, and then the other rows would be hidden under the mattress. I don't really understand that, because I don't know if she was trying to say you can put other things within those pockets that are under the mattress, or like what exactly. Like that was unclear to me, at least. So I didn't totally understand that hack very much. But I did like the idea of using under the bed as storage. I definitely have a lot of things underneath my bed that are like from when I was a child kind of thing, and a lot of things that I don't remember that I put under my bed because it's been a few years since I looked at that. So being able to declutter and work through that and such too, like the under the bed storage. It mentioned a few things of like getting like a small bookcase kind of thing and then putting it on wheels, or like getting like a drawer that has like a top to it and putting it on wheels and then like using that as under the bed storage. I think that's a great idea. So I did like that a lot. I got this idea from Organize Your Life, but I like the idea of having like a clipboard near the pantry to be able to kind of be like, okay, I need to get more rice, or I need to buy whatever. Also, this book talks a lot about using different jars, or like mason jars or clear plastic jars to hold other materials in, to kind of have that sort of be easy to spot, easy to visualize, like clear bins, clear things like that, clear things with tops. So those were great. Those were common themes for sure. Also, it mentions folding clothes, not like folding them like that, but rolling them up and then stacking them that way inside a bureau and stuff, because that it's more visually pleasing, and also not visually pleasing, but also like visually organized, and then easier to take out and fit more within it as well. So that's something I gotta look into. Definitely gotta look into that. I also really liked the magnetic spice tins, where you can put like magnets with adhesive on the back and then tape it, well not tape it, but like stick it to the little spice tin, and then put crafting material, so like washi tape, or put like glitter or whatever, and then keep that around. I thought that was a cool, interesting idea. I also liked the idea of spool holders for washi tape. I think that's great as well. I think that is this photograph also on the cover, so I think it's this one right here, and I really liked that It's very visually pleasing, and I really liked that a lot. I also liked the idea of the framed dry erase message board. So it talks about getting like a photo, what's it called? A photograph frame, and then taking out whatever picture was in it, and then putting like a nice like scrapbook sort of design paper, and then fitting it into the frame, and then putting the glass back on top, and then writing on expo marker like whatever message you want to say, and then you can just like erase it afterward. So I thought that was a really, really cool idea that showed up on page 127 from Higgins 2017. Again, just a really, really awesome idea. Let me actually pull that up too so I can show you. So I think that's a really cool one, and I think that's something I'm actually going to try. So this is kind of like the how to do it section, and then so it's like an 8x10 wall frame. You'll need scrapbook paper, scissors, dry erase marker, and such. And then this is kind of what it would look like. And again, I think that's just a fabulous idea. I really like that a lot. That is something that I do want to take from this book, and something I want to try out. I know we do some similar kind of stuff, like lamination things and stuff at work, so it's an interesting idea, something different. Photo evidence of valuables is also a good idea and a very good advice. Having a copy in the fireproof safe, and then also in a safe deposit box, and keep it updated regularly in case things move or break or get updated and things like that. And that was on page 144. Adhesive backed hooks. Con of this book is the fact that I don't know if her hacks are coming out of like you own your home versus you are renting your home. So I'm not sure the distinction between either of those, but it sounded like to me that the adhesive hooks would be, I don't know, maybe they're okay for a rented place. I don't know. I'd have to look into that further. Or if you guys know, are adhesive hooks okay to put them on the walls and stuff, or does it depend on the place? I don't know, but I think I would probably feel the most comfortable put adhesive hooks onto like bureaus or dressers or furniture that I've bought that are like mine. I think I'd be more comfortable that way, because then I don't want to have to deal with like I put it on the wall and then I can't get it off the wall, or it leaves like a stain or like a residue or something, and then having to pay extra for that or whatever it might be. Also, I've never moved out on my own before, so this is like a whole new journey for me, and something I still very much need to prepare for, and something I'm very much working towards, and that will be hopefully one of the goals I can get done this year or so as well, in due time. So again, the photo evidence of that would be fantastic and such as well. Adhesive hooks. I like the idea of pegboards. I really do like the idea of pegboards, but again, it kind of falls into you'd have to like drill things and like stick them to the wall and like get them, but maybe I don't think I can, right now, I don't think I could hack a pegboard, but maybe one day I can create a pegboard, and then that would be interesting, and that would be great. There's also a cardiophile moment on page 136, which I liked. So, lovely gem right there. I also really liked the idea of vintage doorknobs on a dresser, and to be able to hang things that way. That was on page 92. Love that idea. I also really liked the idea of a Roman shade added to a bookcase, where you can kind of like, I could like, pull down a shade, and then I could pull it up, and then it would have like craft supplies behind it. Like, I think that's an awesome idea. Page 126. The thing about the rose beneath the mattress was on page 41. The storage bench, or the ottoman for the end of the bed was page 36. Some of the hacks also had like a lot of like nails and drill bits and screws, and yeah, which is not any concept that I'm aware of. Like, I have no understanding, grasp of that. Spice tins were from the page 62 and 63. I would like to own an analog clock in my apartment. I think that would be a solid idea. I don't know where I would put it, but that would be a solid idea. Oh, something else I really disliked about this book, and I think that'll be the last criticism that I have that I'll talk about right here at least. But one of the criticisms I had about this book was the top 10 lists, because there were sort of like DIY projects. There were top 10 lists, and then there were like some of the illustrations and something else I think that I'm forgetting for how this book was structured in a sense. It also went by like sort of room by room as each chapter, a little bit of information before going into that chapter, and then the hacks, and it was visually pleasing and well spaced out, I would say. The top 10 lists, I get that they're kind of meant to be like not only whatever's in, like, if it's on laundry, and, like, the first one's, like, about a laundry hack, in a sense, but then the rest of the list is, like, other things you could do beyond the laundry rib, like, that, for me, just categorically bothered me, because it was, like, I get that and it's also, like, the book is, like, well, some things will work better for some people, and some things won't work as well for people, so let me just give you a whole host of ideas, and you just pick through whichever ones you want to go with, right? So I just felt that when it came to, oh, look, top 10 list, like, we're in the laundry room, here's a laundry hack, in a sense, right? Here's something you can do instead with whatever materials. But then then number 2 was, like, here's how to use this hack in the kitchen. And 3 was, here's how to use it in the bedroom. Here's how to use it in the living room, and yada, yada. And that, like, just categorically bothered me, because it wasn't, like, it was so, I don't know, like, it just, like, irks maybe OCD or perfectionism or something for me, because it was, like, not within, it was like not organized in the sense, and I don't know how to solve it either, but, like, it wasn't organized in the sense, like, it should all be in one, like, one zone, one thing, versus, like, all these other, like, multiple facets of things. It just irked me. It was just like a, ooh, like, like, it's supposed to, we're on the kitchen, we're supposed to just focus on the kitchen rather than kitchen and bathroom and living room and bedroom, and, like, I'm like, nah, like, just keep the list, like, this is what we do here, this is what we do there, this is what we do there, but, like, and I get that it wouldn't work that way, but I don't know, like, if there could have been a different way of structuring that and having it, I guess if it couldn't be as rigid as was coming in with it as, maybe there was a way to be more adaptable to it, or more set that out from the get-go or something, because I think it kind of, my idea of it was too rigid, their idea of it was, like, way too flexible, like, way all over the place, and I'm like, no, I gotta keep it as it is, kind of thing, and it was not kept as it is. So again, I'm gonna wrap up with the discussion questions. I did not officially put discussion questions in this review because I forgot that I was doing discussion questions in my video book reviews. So again, I would say overall, no trigger warnings for this book other than some alcohol references and stuff, but that's, and then the writing, again, 2 out of 5. Overall score, recommendation score, 2 out of 5. Wouldn't really recommend it. Like, if you never read this book, you're fine. You know, like, other books that were better, I think, like, Clear the Clutter, Find Happiness by Donna Smallin, and then also definitely Organize Your Life from Good Housekeeping 2024. I know I did a lot of use statements and stuff too in this video. I apologize for that. I don't know how to, but I gotta work on that. Anywho. Discussion questions. What are any home or organizing books or decluttering books that you have read, that you enjoyed, that you liked, and would like me to read or have us read together within the book club? Let me know down in the comments. Number 2. Oh, shit, I forgot it. Number 2. I was just right there. I was about to say it too. I guess, what are any decluttering projects or home organizing projects or living where you live projects that you're working on? And do you want to share any of that information? What's your best organization, like, habit or pattern? What are your organizational patterns? 4, let's see, a discussion question for number 4. Any ingenious ways that you have found to either eliminate clutter or make your life more easy and manageable and helpful that you would like to share, that has worked for you, that you could sort of almost campaign for, in a sense, like, yes, shoe organizers are the best thing ever, and it really helped me do X, Y, and Z. Let me know that in the comments, and let me see if I can think of one more discussion question. I guess, I mean, I think we covered pretty good. I guess maybe just not so much a discussion question, but a question in general. What is the current book that you're reading? Or if you haven't been reading and you're trying to get back into a book, what book are you trying to get into? What other book could you try to get into instead? And how is it going? So right now I'm reading a fiction book that's overdue, but I have to get back into reading it today. I have a lot of plans for today, but I am reading that one. So that's my fiction. It's called I'll Be Waiting. I think it's 2024, and by Kelly Armstrong. It's okay. It's interesting. And another book, a nonfiction book I'm trying to read that I just picked out today, is because I was putting off a climate change book. I don't know why, but I've been putting off reading a climate change book, even though I really want to read it. But instead, I'm gonna read Design the Life You Love, I think is the nonfiction one. So I'm going to read that today, and it should be a pretty simple read, so I'm pretty excited about that. Anywho, yes, thank you so much for watching. Thank you for being here. Thank you for listening. As always, stay safe. Much love and light to you. Again, let me know any of those answers from the discussion questions or the books you're reading, all of that jazz. I'm going to be back further into this new year on YouTube as well as on Reddit. And I will see you in another video upload soon. Thank you so much for watching, and lots in store. No idea when I'll get them out, but I do have a lot in store. So thank you so much. Bye!
Guiding like a lighthouse to I will leave the light on.